Hi friends, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to do a book haul. I feel like I haven't done one in a while, at least here on YouTube. So I want to go ahead and do that today because I have done 2 recent trips to the book exchange, and some of my friends have also sent me books that I would like to chat about. So let's go ahead and get into the book haul so then I can log these onto my physical TBR spreadsheet and I can organize them on my TBR shelf so I don't forget about them. All right, so the first one I received from Gabby from Gabbing About Books. Her and Kesha both love crime and poetry, and this is by Amanda Flower. This is a cozy mystery set in a magical library or bookstore. There's also a grandmother, and I'm just really excited because I don't read a lot of cozies, but the ones that I do, I feel like I love. So since Kesha rated this 5 stars, Gabby rated this 5 stars, Gabby was like, okay, I have to make sure that you have this book in your life. So I'm so excited about it, and it feels like it would be a really great read during the autumn season. So I'm definitely going to try to squeeze it in somewhere on my TBR. Thank you so much, Gabby. Next up, Kesha also randomly sent me a book. I do not know how I deserve such wonderful friends, but I think Kesha was making sure that I would actually read this book and give this author another chance. So if you don't know, I don't have the best history with Jennifer McMahon, but I went to Barnes & Noble one day. I was like shopping around for a totally unrelated, like, you know, book shopping trip, and I saw this and I was like, I don't think I've ever heard of this one before. A lot of people talk about The Winter People, The Invited, things like that, but I hadn't heard anyone talk about this, so I didn't know at first if it was new, and then I saw that it was not. But I asked Kesha, I sent her a picture, I said, hey, have you read this one? And she was like, no, but it's on my TBR. And then a couple days later it shows up at my doorstep with a note that says, the fact that you're still trying Jennifer McMahon is reason enough for me to send this to you. Save it for a hopefully more successful buddy read. I love you. So love you too, Kesha. Thank you so much. It's a horror novel, and it sounds more thrillery, which I also like. All of the rest of the books I got myself. The next one is Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. This is the second book. It follows When in Rome by Sarah Adams, and I actually used some of my Pango Books credit to get this, so I didn't actually like spend any money. So like with girl math, that means it was totally free. But yeah, this one is a small town sweetheart and an emotionally unavailable bad boy try to find some common ground in this chemistry-filled romance. I absolutely loved When in Rome. 5 stars, will probably be in my favorite books of the year. So I definitely wanted to continue, especially if they're in that small town, because yeah, Rome, Kentucky has a piece of my heart, and so do its residents. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. Hopefully it won't like drag around on my TBR for too long. And then the one book that I purchased brand new, you're gonna probably be a little surprised because this is outside my comfort zone, but I figured it's getting so much hype from every corner of Bookstagram that I thought I will give it a go. And I wasn't gonna share it, I was gonna keep it a surprise, but I thought, nah, I'm just gonna share it. Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. So this is a fantasy, historical fiction, romance, has lots of things going on. When 2 young rival journalists find love through a magical connection, also magical realism, not my thing, but we're gonna go with it. They must face the depths of hell in a war between gods to seal their fate forever. So I'm gonna read this, and I might do a reading vlog, like a dedicated reading vlog for this. So if you would like that, if you like that idea of a dedicated reading vlog for this, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just whip it into another TBR somehow. Okay, and then the rest of the books are from the book exchange, and I have had some luck recently. This is 2 separate trips. So the first trip was to the Chesapeake location, and then yesterday I went to the Virginia Beach location. So It's 2 separate shopping trips, and I used store credit for all of these books. So again, girl math, that means they were free. Okay, so I don't know really where I should start. I guess I'll just start at the top of the stack. So one thing, I have like a mental list. I have my Amazon wish list that I always look for things like if it's in the store. And then I have like a mental list of like, I'm always looking for Jennifer Hillier books. I'm always looking for blah, 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 like either an author or like I really want Pet Sematary, but I really want the one with the cat on the cover. So if someone ever donates a paperback copy of Pet Sematary, I'm gonna pick it up. Otherwise, I'll end up buying it full price at some point. But there are certain books that I really, really want, and I've always been looking for. And then also anything new release that I have been interested in, I'll pick up as well. But I also did not want to get any book of the month copies because right now my book of the month TBR is at 0, and we're like at the end of October. We have November and December to go, and I don't want to have any lingering book of the months before the new year. So I didn't buy any book of the month copies. So I'm also very proud of myself for that. But with that being said, I found The Butcher by Jennifer Hillier, and I am so excited because I have been looking for years for this book, and I finally found it. It is a mass market paperback, but it's kind of floppy for a mass market paperback. So I'm excited about that, and I'm just gonna add this to my Jennifer Hillier collection. Of course, I do want to read it. I've heard it's very dark, and it's about a police chief who hunted down and killed the most notorious serial killer, and now 80 years old and retired. He's giving up his Victorian home to his grandson, and while renovating it, he stumbles upon a gruesome cache. And it's like maybe the wrong man was put behind bars, or the wrong man, you know, they're basically trying to right the wrongs and all of that. So anyway, I'm very excited to add this to my collection. I have tried before to get these books, but I had them in hardcover and I didn't know which order to read them in. But recently one of my patrons, Angie, said that she recommends reading the 𝒂𝒏𝒏𝒅 series in historical order rather than publication order. So I saw a copy of The Rules of Magic, and I decided to pick it up because it's in the paperback and it was in really good condition, and I thought now is the time. So I'm gonna give it a go. I didn't get any of the other books. I just got the first one. So I'm gonna see how this goes. And if I don't like it, no biggie. I can always return it to the book exchange. Next up, you are not gonna believe my luck. These were actually the very first 2 books that I saw on this particular trip into the book exchange. They were sitting right beside each other on the shelf, which was so odd, and maybe that's why it made it stood out. It is The Book Eaters by Sunny Dean and Garden Spells by Sarah Addison Allen. They were literally on the bookshelf like this, which may not make sense to you, but my friend Summer from Seasons Readings recently read both of these books and recommended both of these books for the autumn season. And they were literally right next to each other on the shelf. Like, it just seemed like fate. So The Book Eaters is about in a world which people eat books and they gain the knowledge from those books. And then I think there's people eaters that eat the people and gain all the knowledge that they have gained. So they're even like more powerful. So it's kind of like a modern take on like vampires or something like that. But I'm really excited, even though it's out of my comfort zone. She made me step out of my comfort zone with some other books and I actually really enjoyed them. So I trust her recommendations. And then Garden Spells is like a practical magic type story. So looking forward to that. And then one of the cozy mysteries that I have been wanting to read for a while is the Lighthouse Library Mystery Series. The first book is by Book or by Crook, and I actually found it there like randomly and I wasn't even looking for it, but yeah, I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get it. They only had the first book, but I'm just so excited. So this is by Eva Gates, and you guys know how much I love the beach and like coastal things. So like lighthouse, library, say less. And then the final book that I got on the first trip to the book exchange was one that was on my radar over the summer. I just never got around to reading it or getting it from the library or purchasing it. It is Saturday Night at the Lakeside Supper Club by J. Ryan Stradall. And I just love this cover so much. This is like a general fiction novel about 𝒎𝒊𝒏𝒅, who needs a break. Her husband Neil is having an identity crisis. Her spunky, beloved restaurant is bleeding money by the day. And her mother Florence is stubbornly refusing to leave the church where she's been holed up for more than a week. The Lakeside Supper Club has been in 𝒎𝒊's family for decades, but it only caused a rift between mother and daughter that never quite healed. And it says, in this vanishing world of relish trays and brandy old fashions, New York Times bestselling author J. Ryan Stradall has given us a story full of his signature winning, honest yet fallible Midwestern characters as they grapple with love and tragedy, hardship and hope, and what their legacy will be like when they're gone. So I was really excited to find, sometimes, like I said, you can find like pretty much brand new releases there. And it's, I don't know if anybody even read this book, to be honest. And then yesterday I went to I went to a place called Pots and Paints, where you pick pottery off the wall and then like you glaze it and then they fire it for you and you pick it up like a week later. But right down the strip mall from that place was the book exchange in Virginia Beach. So I went there and I picked up 4 books. The first one that I saw was The Blue Bar. And this is one that I've had on my radar, but I haven't been like insistent on picking it up. And it also came with a signed book plate, which is super fancy. It says, endings are overrated, beginnings though, beginnings are everywhere. And here's the little signature here. And then it came with this postcard right here. So this one is about cold cases. It says not all cold cases are dead ends. And it says, after years of dancing in Mumbai's bars, Tara Mondell was desperate for a new start. So when a client offered her a life-changing payout to indulge a harmless, if odd fantasy, she accepted. The setup was simple. Wear a blue sequined sari, enter a crowded railway station, and escape from view with less than 3 minutes. It was the last time anybody saw Tara. So I'm just really excited that I found this one there, and I haven't heard anybody talk about it. So if you've read it, let me know, and let me know what you thought. Next up is another book that's kind of been on my radar for a while. I think it's like a serial killer story because it's like a and then there were none type thing, but it's Security by Gina Worlsdorf. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but it has this little like peephole on the front, which I think is cute. But it's basically about this luxury high-end beachfront hotel that's having a grand opening, and they invite a whole bunch of people, obviously. It's invitation only, and a killer is amongst the people that are either invited or work at the hotel, and this is one by one members of the staff are picked off with ruthless precision, and it's fairly short, so I'm excited to add this one to my collection. 2 more to go. Just One Look by Lindsay Cameron. I remember, I think it was Gabby from Gabby Reads talk about this. It's an obsession story. A young woman's escalating obsession with a seemingly perfect man leads her down a dangerous path in this novel of suspense brimming with envy, desire, and deception. So it's been kind of like on my radar ever since. I believe she's the person that I saw like her talk about it in a video, but yeah. So I found it and I decided to scoop it up. And last but not least, influenced by my friend Lena, she's my historical fiction girly, and this is like one of her top recommendations. It's Keeping Lucy by T. Greenwood. This is another one that every single time I go to the book exchange, I have been looking for this book, and I finally found it. It's a heartbreaking and uplifting story inspired by true events of how far one mother must go to protect her daughter. So it's Massachusetts 1969, which the 60s and 70s I love, and even 80s and even 90s. It's basically like the 50s and previously that I have like a little bit more like harder time with, but anyway, so it takes place there, and then 2 years later And then it just says, based on incredible true events. It's searing, heartfelt, and breathtaking. So I'm really looking forward to reading that. But that concludes my little book haul today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far in the video, go ahead and leave any book emoji, either like the open book emoji or the book stack emoji, in the comment section down below. And also let me know if you want me to do that dedicated reading vlog for Divine Rivals. But I hope you're all having a lovely day or night, and I'll see you guys again in another video very soon. Bye, friends.